Happy Friday, everybody. September 5th, 2025. The pool is closed. The Mets are open here in South New Jersey. As the lawnmower is going, we got our good friend, Giraffe Neck Mark Luino. Mark, before we start, tell them about your new, we'll get you to plug your new YouTube channel you and my guy, James Shiano, and his slick hair have going.
He's got great hair by James. Good to be on here, Jake. Thanks for inviting me. Yeah, we got a new show, The Wind Up. We're just going to be talking more baseball. If you liked what you hear on Mets Up, it'll be me and James doing similar stuff, but for all of Major League Baseball. So check it out, The Wind Up Show. Appreciate you letting me plug in it. Excited to talk about the Mets, though. Big series today. Big series.
The check is in the mail along with the Skyline Chili, and you know, this is a big series, and what makes it even bigger, James, now I'm calling you James. Like, let me see your hair. Hold on. You're not James. All right, you got hair. All right. Well, we got to have haired friends on here because we have a lot of baldies in this world. What's interesting now about this series is the fact that you have, now you have back-to-back-to-back days, and you have a trickle into Philadelphia, which I'll be there on Monday at Citizens Bank repping for the boys. But you have Saturday Tong, Monday McLean, and now Sunday, Sproat has sprouted his way to Cincinnati for his Major League debut. And better late than never with a lot of these guys. We could hammer till we're blue in the face, Mark, of should have brought McLean up a month ago. We would have won 5 more games maybe. But whatever, they're here now, and I think that's what matters. What do you think? I'm excited. Do you think he's ready? Is Cincinnati a tough spot for him? You're in a playoff chase. What do you think of Sproat's debut on Sunday?
I'm very excited. We've been talking about him for years, it feels like. He was kind of one of the first dudes in the pitching lab that I can remember seeing these actual fundamental changes to his game. Mets drafted him twice. They wanted this guy. They have circled Brandon Sproat for years now, and the fact that he's getting to make his Major League debut in Cincinnati is definitely terrifying because we know it's one of the most hitter-friendly ballparks in all of Major League Baseball. But the thing that Brandon Sproat does so well, that fits really well with the Cincinnati Reds team, is one, he gets right-handed hitters out. They have a ton of righties in their lineup. And then 2, he throws a lot of ground balls. So if you keep the ball on the ground, you have the righty-righty matchup, it does make for a more favorable outing for Brandon Sproat in Cincinnati. But of course, I would have preferred Citi Field. That being said, I am really excited. The fastball he throws in the upper 90s. He's got the curveball. He's got the slider. He's got the changeup. He's just a good pitcher. And while it's been up and down for him in AAA, he dominated the lower minors. The last month or so, he's been really good. So I think the Mets just wanted to see some consistency out of him. We saw they tried him out of the bullpen too, because I think that was an option they were going to explore. I'm glad he got the start, though.
Yeah, you never know why they wait. Like they want to see results. I know the corporate PR talk that they always have of now they're ready. We know a lot of times. Sometimes it's contractual reasons, it's roster reasons. But he has been consistent now at AAA, and a lot of people called for him earlier, but I think that he had a lot of rocky starts mixed in there. He's coming off a 7-inning start of 9 strikeout ball, 3 hits. I mean, that's the time. And I think it's better that you do it in Cincinnati than Philadelphia, because one bad inning in Philadelphia could turn into a disaster. We know how the fans are there. So I think that's a good spot for him. I think McLean, you could tell, has that poise, has that moxie that he can thrive Monday in Philadelphia. I'm excited for that game because that's a test for him and a potential playoff matchup. We'll get into playoff matchups and who we might want later. But Sproat, I think this is a sign of, you know what? We're all in now. We're all in. We got our 3 young starters. We're going on a playoff push. And it tells you what they think about Kodai Senga right now. Like, we thought Kodai Senga would be one of the game 1, 2, or 3 starters. I think that's far from a shoo-in at this point. I know you and James talk about Senga, and if you look at his ERA, you're not paying attention because he does get in trouble a lot. He's great with runners in scoring position when he puts guys on, but he does make you scared. He does have a lot of command issues this year. The ghost fork isn't there. What does this mean for Senga? I guess we haven't heard if he's accepting the rehab assignment yet. We're going to hear in the coming hours. When people watch this, they're probably going to know. But what do you think this means for Senga? And do you have faith in Senga to be a factor in the playoffs?
I have faith in Senga to bounce back, but right now, this current version of Kodai Senga, I don't have faith in. And we heard him after the last game talk about how he doesn't feel like his body's working right, that he's having some mechanical issues. There's stuff going on outside of just not getting the results as well that is maybe causing for some difficulties for Kodai Senga. So I truly will be shocked if he accepts the send down. If he does, I'll be kind of happy because that means he's a team player. It means that he's a guy who wants to get better. He's not like throwing a fit. It's totally in his contract, so he's allowed to say no, and I won't hate him if he does say no. I wouldn't want to spend time in Syracuse either. But at the same time, I think for Kodai Senga to get right, to get back to that version that we saw in 2023, which, like you mentioned earlier, we thought would be a game one, game two starter at worst. Right now, he's a guy that in this current version, he's at best coming out of the bullpen, maybe for one time through the order, maybe 2 innings max.
And why I think he might accept it is their season ends on September 21st. So it's not like he's there for the long haul.
Yes.
He's there for maybe 2 starts, 3 tops. And at that point, the Mets will say, all right, come on. Unless he gets absolutely shelled in AAA. And I think what's good about AAA is his numbers don't really matter that much. They want to see, how those pitchers are working. And I think it's a chance for him to experiment something. This is a guy who I think could use a few innings to experiment things with his stuff that you can't do at the major league level. You experiment here, you get lit up, and that's what happens. So I think it's a chance for him to say, all right, this goes forkball in this situation. Maybe I change my grip on this. I don't know. It's not like you're in spring training, but the games don't matter. The results don't matter, and he could work on his stuff more. And I think that's something he could do right now because he just doesn't have those same put-out pitches that he has had the last couple of years. And this is a guy in an interesting spot because he also has a potential opt-out in his contract along with Edwin Diaz. I mean, if I'm him, I don't think I'm opting out. I mean, with the, up and down
I don't
the
think
year.
he can technically. I think because he hasn't thrown enough innings, he's automatically back on the team for a cheaper price. So I think no matter what, we're with Kodai, but the contract's so cheap that the Mets will happily take it. You're not going to sign a starting pitcher for that price, really, especially with the quality that Kodai could eventually show again.
Yeah, and I think what's good is with these 3 guys coming up here, you're a little bit less stressed about the rotation going into next season. I don't want to get into next season yet, but you start thinking about the future and you lick your lips a little bit thinking about the future, and you think about Jet down the road, you think about Clifford down the road, you think about Carson Benz, you think about, a guy that you said, hey, I would trade him in a heartbeat. AJ Ewing is lighting up Double-A.
Looking awesome.
He might prove you wrong. AJ
Listen,
Ewing.
I would.
Is he related to Patrick? Is he is he a brother from another mother?
What's so exciting is he's hitting the ball hard. That's something that we didn't see in the lower levels. He's starting to hit it harder now, and you're like, oh, wait a second, this is a ball player.
And he's a 60 stolen base guy. I mean,
he's got some speed.
How often do we? I mean, we're drooling at Soto 30. How about we double that? And we get Patrick Ewing's white brother on the team. Put them on a step. They'll be in the commercials together. Patrick and AJ in a couple of years. But the future is bright. And, Sean Manaea is the one thing where you're like, what do we do with this guy? Now, he's probably going to start now Tuesday because McLean is Monday. So you're excited Monday, and Tuesday you're holding your breath. But I don't know. I think the way he walks out off the mound, and the last time I saw him walk off the mound, you saw almost tears in his face because that elbow is barking. I think it's very clear he's hurt, and he's pitching hurt. And listen, you're pitching. You're out there. Doctors haven't said you're not able to pitch. So I don't want to make excuses and feel that bad for the guy. And he's making $25 million. Obviously some of it's deferred and divvied up in different ways, which was nice of him to do to save the Mets. But the reality is, we talk about Senga Mark being a game 1, 2, or 3 guy. Sean Manaea, we were looking at a game 1 or 2 guy. And now we're looking at, all right, wait, is Peterson, McLean, Tong going to be our game 1 through 3 guys? There's going to be piggybacking going on. I've been mentioning that word every day. I need like a Miss Piggy icon in the corner. I do love the Muppets. There's the ADHD kicking in. But there's going to be piggybacking. But Sean Manaea is supposed to be there too. And you're paying him to be that playoff guy.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's not. He can't be. I think, like, for that conversation of a playoff series, if we get there, I definitely agree that it's right now Peterson, McLean. And then that game 3, I know, like, people want to hear that you have a game 3 starter, right? That makes people feel comfortable and normal. But if we get to a game 3, it's all hands on deck, truthfully. So, like, if Sean Manaea's got the guy who starts game 3, and then you go to Tong, and Manaea seems one time through the order, and then Tong, like, whatever works to win the baseball game, that's truly what we're going to end up seeing. So I'm not as worried about game 3. What I'm more worried about is if a series goes longer, if we were lucky enough to make it to the next round LDS, you do need some more legitimate starters. And Sean Manaea has not been that guy. And I don't know if he will be this year with, like you mentioned, the loose bodies in his elbow. Clearly there has to be some sort of pain or discomfort going on because the way that he's been pitching, he even changed his arm slot a little bit, probably has to deal with the fact that his elbow is barking. It's not been great. I don't know how it gets better besides pitching him less, if that makes sense. I know we get very obsessed with needing our starters to go 5 innings. But if Sean Manaea going 5 innings, because as we've seen every time he tries to go five, gets into trouble. If he gives you 4 good ones, we might have to get to a point where we just kind of wipe our hands clean and say, hey, great job. You did what we need you to. We're going to go and get the next 6 or 5 innings done with the bullpen or with a long relief guy.
It has to be in the next week or two, piggybacking going forward. It's not just him; it's Clay Holmes, because Clay Holmes getting in the fifth, always in trouble. So I'd say even if they're dealing through 3 or 4, pull them, because that's practice for the playoffs. What you're going to do, because the why I'm excited about the Mets in the playoffs is because they have to operate differently. It's not going to be a 5-6 inning starter. It's going to be 3-3 and 3-3-1-1, like whatever 3-3-1-1-1. The 3-1-1. They're gonna operate very differently. So that's why they can have success. Listen, the Dodgers even did it against the Mets in the playoffs.
Yep.
Like the Dodgers did it. You're gonna have to get, it's up to Mendoza and probably the front office of figuring out how they want to divvy this up. It's a lot of pressure on Mendoza. He has not had a great year as manager. I mean, there's no other way around it. If you say there's a lot of people that come in my mention to defend him and say, well, Mendoza didn't hit, blah, 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 blah. We know the players have to do it, but like the manager gets the accountability. He's been bad. He's got to have all no screws loose in October, because he's going to be busy every inning. He's going to have somebody warming, because you never know when one of these guys implodes. Manaea, too, with the arm slot, with the elbow, I feel like he's gained weight. He doesn't look like he's gassed by the 3rd and 4th inning. And people are going to say, you're not one to talk about gaining weight. You're a fat guy yourself. But listen, he looks a little bigger. I know.
Professional athlete.
He looks a little big. I'm not a professional
I mean,
podcaster.
He's a guy who in his career, his weight has fluctuated a little bit. I don't know if I've noticed the weight necessarily to a point where I think he's a little overweight, but also it would make sense. He didn't have a real spring training. The season was delayed for him. For a bigger guy like that. Like, there's a chance. Also at the same time, like he's not sharp. And I do think that we saw it with Montes. I know he's not pitching probably ever again for this team, but we saw it with him. We're seeing it with Manaea. We saw it with Blake Snell last couple seasons when he's been signing late. Missing spring training, especially for pitchers, is a massive, massive deal. And I'm not going to pretend like guys haven't missed spring training and came back and been great. But for maybe a guy like Sean Manaea, all those extra reps might be what gets him going. And even if you remember last year, the first month and a half, 2 months of the season, he wasn't very good either. Like, he had moments where he couldn't go past 4 or 5 innings. He was a 5-and-dive guy at best for a bit, until the second half when they made the change. He was able to go deeper. So he could be a slow starter. Maybe that's the case. Maybe we're just getting ready for prime Sean Manaea in the postseason. That's kind of how I'm trying to trick myself into not being overly concerned. But at the same time, we've all watched what's going on. He doesn't look very good.
I think he's a classic 3-inning guy, though, because we've had outings where he dominates the first 3 innings and strikes out 8 guys in 3 innings. Then he implodes.
And him and Holmes piggybacking like they did in Kansas City that one time, or was that Senga?
Kansas City.
In Kansas City. That was amazing. That was perfect. It's like, let's try that. Let's get a little creative, especially with the expanded roster. We have an extra pitcher in the bullpen now. You can kind of operate with that 6-ish man rotation.
Can we get that game tape? Because that game, I know Manaea blew it in the 9th, but he looked good up until then.
Good. Yeah.
I could see that being a playoff games, Holmes-Manaea combo package. And, if you get by round 1, then it's best of 5, and then it's best of 7. So once it gets to best of 7, they're really going to have to get creative, because, you're playing on back-to-back-to-back days. These guys' arms might fall off.
Yeah, we have 2.5 pitchers right now. Because as much as I love Tong, we've seen 5 innings. Like, we need to see a little bit more before we can say he's pitching a playoff game.
I got people telling me he's your game 1 starter. I'm like, what?
If there's any of the rookies, it's McLean now. That would be the game one.
But here's my other worry, Mark, is that how innings limits, and they're gonna shut these guys down. I'll be one of them that loses my mind if they say, all right, he's hit his peak on innings. That's why I think they got to be careful here in terms of, like, I don't know if we're going to see Sproat, McLean, or Tong ever go 6 or 7 the rest of the way.
I don't think that they would have called them up if they were worried about innings limits on these guys this year. I think they've probably shown enough where the front office and the team feels comfortable to let them go the rest of the season as long as they can. I think if there was going to be an innings limit thing, you wouldn't have seen them. So that's my personal take. We don't know the actual answer.
Well, my other worry is playoff. They never pitch this many innings in the live. So when they go get into the playoffs and they got to pitch in high pressure moments, what do they have? I worry a little bit about Tom because he did look nervous. I mean, it was one start. So I'm excited to see him. Cincinnati, tough ballpark, good lineup. See how he does.
Yes.
Maybe it's the fact that he looks 12 years old.
I think it's the fact that he looks 12. He's also, I love how quirky and goofy he is on the mound too.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, he looked nervous. I felt actually the opposite. I thought he was incredibly loose. I thought he felt confident. There were at moments that were like very tight, but also like he got a terrible inning where Alonso and Lindor made errors. There was guys getting on base, not his fault. Like, I know you're not saying that you thought Tong pitched poorly, but just like talking about like the nervousness, I actually think he's got the poise and the makeup that could work well in a big game. But like you mentioned, this Saturday against the Reds, that's going to be a huge test. And I am really interested to see what it's like going up a team trying to actively win versus the Marlins.
Yeah, and you're not going to have – and I'm trying to think. Would Tong pitch Thursday in Philadelphia? If they stick with 6-man, he would not. I believe it would be Peterson, Holmes, something like that. I don't know.
It seems like this time of the year, too, like especially with the expanded rosters, they'll probably manipulate the rotation a little bit to try and get the matchups that they like, I think, too.
And you also got to divvy up. McGill's ready. I think
he should be up when he's ready because, like, as crazy as it sounds, McGill has pitched big innings for us, and he is frustrating, but overall, he is still a solid pitcher. He's just frustrating.
McGill for Helsley. I mean, the Mets have a Ryan Helsley problem. We've talked about it in the last couple of days on the show. He's not going anywhere, but who is McGill replacing? You don't have unlimited. Does he just replace Hagenman? Is that just? I mean, I assume
yeah. Right now, like Herget and Hagenman have spots on the roster, and I think Sproat and McGill could probably take those two if Kodai doesn't go down. If Kodai goes down, you only need to move one of those guys out, and that will be for McGill.
I thought they had sent Herget down. Is Herget still here?
As of yesterday, he was still on the active roster. I'll take a look again of what the Mets active roster looks like.
Well, McGill is ready, and I think he's just like, hey, Mets, call me. Like, I'm ready to roll. I mean, he's been okay in AAA. He's similar situation later in the game. He kind of explodes, and that's classic Tyler McGill, the fifth inning blues. So he's another guy. Like, he could be part of this piggyback. I mean, Mets
I'm dying for McGill out of the bullpen one day. I'm dying for it.
I mean, he's got 7 pitches. He seems like the perfect 1 to 2 inning bullpen guy. I'm not the biggest McGill fan because he's inconsistent, but maybe him as a reliever, maybe he becomes dominant. We'll see. Francisco
Herget and Hagenman both on the roster, still technically at this moment.
Okay, so that's easy then. The easy move is also Francisco Alvarez today replacing Hayden Sanger.
I know you're happy.
I mean, see ya. They trade away my guy Ali Sanchez. Prince Ali, ba. Why the hell we trade him for the Red Sox for some cash? Love Aladdin. And he was the insurance option. He's gone. Sanger was fine. I think Mendoza got a little Sanger happy. And listen, the bunt by Sanger for a single was my favorite play of that season. Like that's the Jake Brown like baseball born was that bunt. That was the moment I was like, all right, I now like Hayden Sanger. So I love that. I think he had a little Sanger happy, started him a bunch, but he does call a good game, I guess. Pitchers did well with him. But Alvarez, my God, I mean,
what a dog.
He's got like a brace on every finger. Like I remember I went to Cooperstown to the Hall of Fame and I did batting cages and I like sprained my thumb. I'm in the hospital with a cast on my thumb going like this. And this guy's got like this. He's like,
oh yeah, he's all broken up in his hands. It's honestly crazy. He's playing. I can't believe he's able to
hit a homer.
Make contact. I know it doesn't really make sense. Like broken fingers, like you can play with them, but there's gonna be a lot of pain. So maybe he's just popping some Tylenol before the game and getting tough.
They got to be careful because I smell another injury like first game. I hate to say that, but
we'll see.
I love that he's a Warrior and coming back. I worry it's too soon, but listen, they can use that bat. And you saw it the other day with bases loaded. Marte's just swinging at first pitch, which people were tweeting me. It's right down the middle. I hated that. I hate bases loaded swinging first pitch on a wild pitcher.
I normally do too. That was such a fat changeup. I think it even was like because he threw a changeup middle, even middle, like to that upper like third of the zone. But I'm with you. Normally, I'm like you can't swing, especially because that was a uncompetitive at bat to McNeil. But
he's done that a lot.
Been so good too this year.
He has, and that's the tough part. And Soto calls him the captain, and WFAN running with the headline of he's not a leader. Lindor's not the captain. It's Marte, creating division in the clubhouse.
My least favorite bald person.
Yeah. I hope I'm the favorite or top two. At least.
Yeah.
Well, which one? There's 2 of them on that show.
Actually, my Uncle Joe, he's bald. He takes number 1.
Well, family doesn't count.
Okay, non-family. I don't think I know any other bald people. So yeah, you're there.
Wow, you're a bald shamer. I'm the only one outside family. Damn, uncle. I'm Funkle. They call me Unca now in the chat. They're like, hey, Unc. I'm like, God damn, I'm getting old here.
Friend's got good heads of hair over here.
Yeah, wasn't blessed with that.
You got the beard, though. I can't grow a beard for the life of me, so.
Yeah, well, it's patches a whole land. Dodge, dip, duck, dive, dodge the beard on this. But anyways, what were we talking about? Oh, Francisco Alvarez. I just think he was so on when he got back that if this thumb and pinky injury don't affect him too much, he is a critical bat at the bottom of the lineup. And, as fun as Senga and Torrens, I know Torrens was a little hot. Torrens is a good backup. Play him once to twice a week. But, man, Alvarez with that juice, with that power. We've already seen this lineup come to life to the point Eric Chavez is posting graphics on his Instagram story of how we have the number 1 OPS in the month of August or whatever it was. Shut up, Eric Chavez.
His posts are insane.
I'm still on Team Fire Eric Chavez. But, I mean, is anyone more petty than him on Instagram? Has he unlocked or is it still private?
I'm not sure. I follow him. I've been on there for a minute, and he posts different pictures every single day, kind of shit-talking the Mets fans for shit-talking him. The one thing I will say is it's like, by the end of the year, the Mets offensive numbers are towards the top of the league. So, as much as I hated him during the middle stretches, if that's what the offense is going to look like, I kind of can't doubt him for it. But also there apparently was an adjustment. Todd Zeal, I don't know if he had a Freudian slip or not, but we heard the other night on the SNY postgame that Chavez told the hitters, stop taking so many pitches and attack fastballs. And the Mets had, I think, the highest OPS on fastballs in the month of August. So I don't know why it took him 5 months to figure that out, but I'm glad that maybe we have now because the Mets are hitting so much better. And this lineup, if you play Beatty at second base, McNeil in center field, 1 through 9, and now with Alvarez, you will have hitters with an OPS plus of 100 or better, which is kind of awesome.
I gotta give my credit to Beatty. I've ripped the guy. I still think the Mets should trade him, to be honest.
No, why?
I would trade him. I think his value is great right now. You're trading him or McNeil, and I know you love Jeff.
You don't need to trade either of them. Why do you have to trade them?
You gotta trade one of them.
For what?
You got too many guys at the same two positions.
Why can't we have so many guys? Look at what it's helped us with.
But look what it's done to hurt Ronnie Mauricio because he doesn't play, and they still have wasting a spot. Now, I don't think they want to use the option on him. They wanted to keep that option. So I think that's a contractual thing that why he's up here, but he doesn't play. I agree he's play better, but he needs at bat. That's a guy who I think needs at bats now. At the beginning, I was like, play him, but now that he's sitting every day, it's kind of screwing him over after a year of no at bats. I agree, Ronnie shouldn't be playing, but I also wish he was getting at bats, developing a little bit. And usually, I don't care about that. But in his situation, when he missed a year and he hasn't seen a curveball in a year, that. I'd like to see that. I just don't. I think you're gonna have too many guys. We'll see. I think someone's getting dealt, bro.
All the good free players. I think Acuna is on the chopping block. I don't think he's on this team next year because he doesn't have an option either next year. So he's a non-tender candidate, low key. Yeah. But they'll probably trade him.
Yeah, and he'll be on TikTok Shop and Instagram Live. He's been on live like every day of his life. He goes live more than me. I'm like, God damn, bro. So we'll see. But I got to give my credit to Brett Beatty. I mean, now I need to see it down the stretch here. He's been good here, but we know he gets very, very streaky, and I want to see it down the stretch. But props to Brett Beatty. Props to Jeff McNeil. I think McNeil should be starting, obviously. Again, I think he's a guy to trade because he's got 1 year left. I think he's got some value. You cut that money. We'll see.
Who are we replacing? Keep him.
And you got Vientos is keeping his way on the roster for next year now, like the way
he's the DH now for us next year. So I still want Schwarber over him. I want that to be very well known. I want Kyle Schwarber on this team next year. But
I'd be shocked if Schwarber came to New York after Philly. Most guys never come to New York right after Philly.
We'll find out. We got the money. That's what changes everything.
We got the money.
Isn't it nice? We have the rich people money now. We can be like, you don't want to come here? How does an extra $10 million sound?
God, Steve.
Love Uncle Steve.
Can I be put in the fan? Steve's son just got engaged to
yes.
I think it was a former Mets photographer or something. I don't know if she was Mets. I don't want to misspeak, but I saw the Instagram
she was
stories.
To be fair, but
she might have not been, but she did.
I'm pretty sure she's not.
She does photography. I know
yes.
that. So congrats to them. So if any other members of the family become single, I will be part of the family anytime. Just saying, give me 1%. Yes, Josh Cohen, that's his name. Good guy. So congrats to them. But yes, Steve Cohen, lots of money. What were we talking about?
We're talking about how you want to trade all the players that are good on this team. You're like, Jeff McNeil, you're good, get rid of him. Brett
So
Beatty,
you're
you're
saying
good, Bree, get rid of him.
2026, you're perfectly fine. Opening day, Brett Beatty, everyday third baseman, McNeil, everyday second baseman, Mark Vientos, everyday DH.
Yeah, totally. Vientos is the one I'm not totally sold on just yet. I still want to see a little bit more from him, but he's been playing a lot better ever since he posted that girl on Instagram. So whatever's going on there, he's been loose. But yes, I feel totally confident with Brett Beatty at third, Jeff McNeil at second base starting opening day next year.
He's hard launch. He's out of the DMs and just one. He's a one.
Whatever gets him hitting well, that's all I care about.
He has a million DM requests, but he's not opening them now. He's locked into baseball. Swaggy V no more. Now he's just Mark V. That's what he is. No more Swaggy, just Mark V with a wifey. Anyways, yes, we'll see. I think they're gonna try and aim better. I think they're gonna try for a Murakami.
Always try better.
I think they're gonna see what's out there. But this weekend, big Mets, Reds, Garrett. Garrett on his way. He had a rehab outing. I could live without seeing Garrett ever again. But he's going to be back probably next week now. Jose Siri, what do you think his role? Like, I look at him as just a pinch runner defensive replacement. I think he just strikes out too much. He does provide some pop. He didn't show it early. I know everyone's going to use the 20 at-bat sample size in April in cold weather, which I think is not fair to him. But what do you think his role is?
I think he is going to be a great defensive center fielder. I think he's Tyrone Taylor with a little more upside, but a little lower floor. Because like you mentioned, there might just be stretches where Jose Siri doesn't touch a baseball for a week. Like he might get 10 straight at-bats where he strikes out 10 straight times. But defensively, he's out of control good. Like Tyrone's awesome. Jose Siri is that much better. He's one of the best defensive center fielders. And also, on the base paths, he's a maniac. We know he can steal bases. We know he runs a ton. And at the plate, He can hit some bombs. He has crazy exit velos. He hits home runs when he makes contact. It's just like it's a chaos player, but something that I like to see on this roster, especially with the expanded roster.
And on the base paths, he's a demon. He's on demon time at the bases, and I think that's a moment when you're down one, when you're tied, that can completely change the course of the game and change the emotions of the game. Like,
also puts pressure on the pitcher too when you have a guy like him on first base running around crazy.
And I think the emotional element, I mean, we saw the opening weekend in Houston and how he's running like a maniac, and he almost every time he got on base he scored, and when he pinch run he scored. Like he finds his way home. He is a steal home candidate, and after bunting, stealing home is my favorite play in baseball. I saw Roger Cedeno do it for the Mets against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium way back. I was at that game. I think it might have been the 2 games in one day. I did the Shea at the night Yankee afternoon, the 2 stadium, 1 game, 1 day, and that's when I knew I loved the Subway Series, when I got a buy one get one special in the 2 stadium 1 day. I wish there were more of those. That was so awesome. Cool. But I love stealing home. I actually met Roger Cedeno's like second cousin at a bar in Glen Cove.
What an insane sentence that was. That was a Mad Libs.
Her last name was Cedeno. I'm like, oh my God, it's true. So unless she was making it up, but the fact she knew him, I'm like, okay, you're related.
I think my least favorite Met of all time, possibly Roger Cedeno. Hated him. Hated his guts.
No
he was horrible.
way.
He stunk.
I mean, he wasn't great, but he stole a lot of bases. I don't know.
Yeah, he was ass. I don't know.
Aaron Hallman and Ryan Helsley are approaching now my top.
Heilman's always 1-1 because what he did was unforgettable. But Roger Cedeno, in terms of hitters, is number 2.
Really? I'm
shocked. Hate him. 5-year-old Mark hated Roger Cedeno's guts.
Oh, you were 5. That's different. I was probably like 9 or 10. I guess I didn't hate him. I didn't love him. He wasn't great, but there's so many more worse Mets than Roger Cedeno.
Definitely worse Mets for sure.
That's interesting. Yeah, Jed Lowry. Never played. Anyways, yes. So the wild card race this weekend. Mets 5 up on the Reds. The Giants here are 4 out, and the Giants' schedule is incredibly not easy, but they're playing all teams under 500 except 7 versus the Dodgers. So the Giants are working their way back in. Now there's no head-to-heads. The Mets here, Mark, can absolutely bury the Reds this weekend. I think it's critical. And, man, how cool would it be if they win the first 2 and Brandon Sproat leads them to a sweep Sunday? You got to take 2 out of 3, but, man, if you sweep, you go into Monday feeling a lot better about this team because you know you're in good shape for the wild card and that you're in the divisional race, depending on what the Phillies do this weekend. They play the Marlins, so they're probably going to win 2 out of 3, but you never know with the Marlins. The Marlins are sneaky. What do you think about this wild card race? Are you worried now about the Giants in the picture? What do you think about the Reds and this weekend in general?
I think the Mets are the best of those 3 teams. Yep. So I think as long as the Mets continue to play the baseball that they're capable of, we should make the playoffs. We have 4-game cushion, like you mentioned. Like, this is not great, but it's better than what it could be. The Giants do have an easier schedule. Shout out to 7 against the Dodgers. Absolutely love that. Diamondbacks have been playing good baseball too. They've got 6 against them. So it's one of those things where I don't want to say I'm not scared of these teams because that's famous last words. That would be an insane jinx. But at the same time, I have confidence in the Mets to get the job done and make the playoffs. I'm honestly not even looking at the division right now. As a Mets fan, I'm like, just make the playoffs. Like, regardless, we're playing in that wild card series. It seems like doesn't matter if we win the division or not. Make the playoffs, get there, and worry about winning that 3-game series once we're there.
Yeah, I think they are the best of the three. My worry is just the Giants and that schedule and the Mets and their schedule that they could sneak back in. The Giants have a potent lineup. I don't really trust their pitching, but they got some boppers in the middle of that order who are hitting. Devers is just destroying the baseball right now.
Devers, Adames, and Chapman have been hot.
Yeah, when they're not throwing punches at Kyle Freeland.
Yes, that's how you know a team's feeling themselves. You start getting into fights.
Bro, Rafael Devers had the Todd Pratt moment, and then they let him finish running the bases afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm like, why couldn't Todd Pratt finish running the bases afterwards? I mean, how come he didn't get to do that? But yeah, Todd Pratt is an interesting character now. He's Mr. Politics on Twitter now. Be careful following him on Twitter. He runs rampant. He runs his mouth. I didn't hate him as a player. Man, you hated Rodgers today. You and Todd Pratt.
I loved Todd Pratt.
Oh, you loved him. I think you said I hated him. Yeah.
Oh no, I said the umps hated Todd Pratt. That's
the umps. Yes. Yeah, he was a beloved figure in Mets lore. Him and Benny Agbayani. Benny will be at Mets alumni game. You're going next Saturday, right?
Don't think so.
You're not?
I'm thinking about what my schedule is. What am I doing? I feel like I have something next Saturday.
Old Timers Day?
Did you see the price of the ticket to get into that to see the alumni game?
But you got season tickets.
Yeah, I know, but I could sell those bad boys.
Wow. Alumni game.
I'll tell you what, like, I'll watch it on TV if I need to. Unless Jacob deGrom's pitching, I don't care to necessarily see what's going on.
But what if you could hang with them and be around the greats walking around?
I've done it before. I'll be all right.
I love Old Timers Day, so I'm not even confirmed coming up. My plan was to leave early, and then go to the Savannah Banana game that day at Yankee Stadium. So we'll see what happens. But I love the Old Timers Day.
It's fun. It's a great
time.
time.
To escort Doc to the suite. I was with all of them. I was talking to Billy Wagner. So I would live the VIP old timer experience, which was awesome.
There you
go. I didn't have the video that Figgy took that became the Godfather video that someone added the music or the voiceover to, which was incredible. But I love Old Timers Day. That's going to be fun. Anyway, yes, finally, the playoff matchup. So we talk about the wild card here. If the season were to end today, the Mets would have to face the Dodgers in the wild card.
My hot take?
You're going to say you're not scared of the Dodgers.
That's like the exact time where I'd want to play the Dodgers in the playoffs is a 3-game series. I think the longer a series gets, the better teams usually win. A 3-game series, you can kind of fluke a win. I love playing the Dodgers in a 3-game series. I don't love them in 5. I don't love them in 7. I don't love them in 3. But if I have a choice, I'm going to take the shorter series over 5 or 7 games every single time. And that's where you can knock them out. We play well in LA. I've got a weird hunch that I would much rather play the Dodgers in a 3-game series.
That is a hot take because I might think the opposite, because I think in those 3 games, the Dodgers could just put, like we are, all hands on deck. And if they put all their best pitchers out there, we might not have an answer. So I think the Mets might have a better chance in a longer series against the Dodgers because they don't, at least health-wise as of now. Now, that's going to change here. The Dodgers have pretty much phantom IL'd everyone. They're all going to be fine probably in 2 weeks and throw 1 inning and say, all right, we're good for the playoffs. So, I don't know. I'm kind of the opposite. I'd probably rather face them in a long series. I get your point, though, is, in a short series, you can beat the better team. My peak team, and I think you would agree, is we want the Phillies. Zach Wheeler.
I want the Phillies at home.
Yeah, but even in Philadelphia, I think you can stomach. I hate that it's 3 games. I think it should be 1-1-1. But I guess that's how the cookie crumbles. Winning the division versus winning the wild card. I would have liked, 1 in Philly, 1 New York, then 1 in Philly. But anyways, they couldn't do that if it was L.A., New York, traveling across the country. So it'd be tough. But I want the Phillies. I'm not even that afraid of the Brewers, to be honest. I don't know. I guess a lot of us are disrespecting the Brewers, but I think the Phillies are our number 1 matchup. But listen, the Padres are only a game ahead of us now. We might face the Cubs. What do you think about having to face the Cubs?
I'll tell you what. I really wish we were in the American League because every team that's going to make the playoffs in the National League, I'm like, damn, like these are legitimately good baseball teams. Like, I don't want to run into any of these teams. I hate having to pick. Where in the American League, I'm like, wow, really get a cakewalk with some of these.
So what's your
matchups.
Mount Rushmore of matchups you would want in the wild card round?
Oh God, Phillies,
One.
Padres, Cubs, Brewers. Those would be the ones that I'd want.
But you just said you want the Dodgers.
I want the Dodgers in a 3-game series. I don't want to play the Dodgers at all. I'd love to avoid playing
That's
the
what
Dodgers.
I'm saying.
As
The
much as
wild card
possible.
round, the 3-game series. Who would you want to face?
Oh, I'd still rather face all those teams.
Oh, okay.
Dodgers are not a team that I never am going, let me face the Dodgers. If I have to face them, I want it to be the shortest series possible.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Smash that thumbs up on this video. I never did like a formal introduction to the show, but it's fine. I do it every day. Scan this code, Mets Daily Insider, $5 a month. And we gave away tickets to Shamoto. Well, the first 2 people aren't able to go to Mets Padres on the Thursday afternoon game. I get it. People, they're not like us. They have like 9 to 5s and
Real
jobs. And we have fake jobs, fake news over here. 9 to 5. If you got it, sorry. But Shamamoto, let me know in the comments or message me or I'll message you. 2 tickets in Excelsior level, the 300s, decent seats.
Very nice.
For a little afternoon matinee. So make sure you scan that code. Follow me at Jake Brown Live. Follow me at GIRAFFE Follow Metsed Up. And what's the YouTube wind up?
The wind up.
The wind up. Check out the wind up on YouTube as well. Mark, big weekend. Let's just take series. I'm
with you.
Let's not worry about the division. I want to sweep the Phillies. I'm gonna be there, maybe all 4 of them. So I'll be rooting on the boys, local and live, and probably getting apples and tomatoes thrown at me.
Braver man than me.
Listen, it's a nice ballpark. The fans are lunatics, but I live so close. I got to be there. So looking forward to that. Let's go Mets. Mark, enjoy the weekend series. LGM, thanks for joining me.
Let's go Mets.